Let's start at the beginning. Before they created Rocket League, Psyonix made another game, way back in 2008 on the PlayStation 3. It was called Monster Madness: Grave Danger.
You need to kill all the monsters to proceed.
You think I'm joking, don't you? But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about the other game they released in 2008. That's right. Of course, I'm talking about supersonic, acrobatic, rocket-powered battle cars, available only on the PlayStation 3. As a beloved Rocket League YouTuber, I feel like it's important that I understand where Rocket League came from. Let me tell you what I had to do to play this game and record it for you guys. First, I don't have a PlayStation 3, so I had to buy a PlayStation 3. As soon as I turned it on, that PlayStation 3 died, so I had to buy another PlayStation 3. Now I have two PlayStation 3s. Well, actually one PlayStation 3 and a paperweight. I have an Elgato to record consoles, but I couldn't record the PlayStation 3 with the Elgato because the PlayStation 3 blocks its signal with a thing called HDCP. Because why would anyone want to record their gameplay? But I found out you could strip the HDCP if you bought an HDMI splitter. So I bought an HDMI splitter, but the HDMI splitter did not block the HDCP. So I bought a janky one on Amazon because this comment said that it didn't support HDCP. It did support HDCP. So I bought another HDMI splitter, and it finally worked. So, after all that, I present to you supersonic, acrobatic, rocket-powered battle cars. I actually have to buy it first, and I don't have a PSN, so it's time to create that. SunlessKhan. Okay, which one of you guys took SunlessKhan on the PlayStation Network? Which one? Who was it? I will be suing you via YouTube court. But in the meantime, I have to be the real SunlessKhan. Okay, whatever. I've wanted to play this game for so long, and it feels so weird that I can finally see it in the store. It's only like $3, and I'm finally gonna get to play it. What a big moment. The prequel to Rocket League. And of course I have to update it. Finally. This is amazing. So I finally got it to work, and I was playing supersonic, acrobatic, rocket-powered battle cars. So the first thing I did, obviously, was to see if anyone was playing online. And sure enough, there was exactly one game going on. So I jumped in and immediately scored. It was an amazing moment. It was at the Throwback Stadium. Everything was right, and it was perfect. So now that I had that glorious first impression, scoring right away in my first online game in Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Power Battle Cars, which I'll now refer to as SARP, let's get into the actual gameplay. So the first thing I noticed right away is the ball cam is really quite different. And it feels really clunky and disorienting at first. The main thing that's different with the ball cam is it's not like a perfect lock. Like in Rocket League, when you have ball cam on, it's pretty much always dead center. Not pretty much, it is. It's locked, you know? In SARP, when you move, the camera kind of moves with it and it kind of makes a delayed adjustment. So that's kind of weird to get used to at first. But one thing that I kind of like about it, because it doesn't just lock perfectly on the ball, when the ball goes straight up, it doesn't just completely take the camera straight up like it does in Rocket League. It kind of looks up, but not totally off the field, so you can still see the players that are in front of you, which is kind of a cool little way to do it. But overall, I still think it's better in Rocket League. One of the worst things you notice right away is you can't change the controls at all. The controls are just set how they are, which means power slide and air roll are permanently on square, which makes it really hard to, aerial or do anything really. Speaking of downsides of controls, a huge thing is that I have to use a PlayStation controller. And I'm not gonna lie, I hate PlayStation controllers. I don't think they're fit for human hands. Maybe my hands are just big, but it doesn't feel like it's designed with a human's hands in mind. But I know probably a majority of you guys use PlayStation controllers, so I'm not gonna trash them too much, but I do hate them. Another thing that's different in this game that I really like is on an own goal, it just says your name. Like in Rocket League, if you score an own goal, it just says the name of the opponent that touched it last, right? Well, in this game, it's like, no, you own goal. This is your name, which is kind of savage, and I kind of like that. And I wish they wouldn't have changed that. Huge downside is there's no ranking system, right? It's just a bunch of lobbies of people running games. So in that way, it's kind of a bonus. It's more casual, but it's also like one of the main reasons I play Rocket League, you know? Rank is a great motivating factor. There's only a few maps, and there's only a few cars, and there's like 4 skins you get to pick from, so very low on the customization. Another big change is the full boosts are like little pills, and it looks kind of, I don't know, stupid. The pills are just it's an interesting design choice. It feels very pharmaceutical, like it's Dr. Mario or something. A huge difference that really affects what you can do on the wall is the dodge delay is really short, meaning when you jump off the wall, you have to dodge right away or you lose it. So it's really hard to, get a good powerful shot off the wall when you have to use it pretty much as soon as you jump off. So that's a really big adjustment that they made in Rocket League that yeah, is definitely for the better. Overall, the controls just feel really clunky. The physics feel clunky. It's hard to describe, but it just doesn't quite feel right. Maybe you can tell by the gameplay, but if you would play this game, which a lot of you should buy this game because it's super cheap if you happen to have a PlayStation 3, I would love to play some games with you guys. But anyway, it just feels awkward. The physics are off. Something about it, when you brake, you stop too soon. It just, it's hard to explain, but it's definitely just unrefined, I'll say. So what about the AI? Well, in Rocket League, they're pretty bad, but you ain't seen nothing till you play with the SARP bots. They are horrendous. They cannot hit the ball. They cannot do anything. But because it's SARP, you can't really do anything either. So it's kind of, it can be entertaining to play single player. Another big difference in the online department, there is no chat at all. No quick chat, no typing. That's probably a good thing, actually, now that I think about it. But it does limit, the interaction factor. Speaking of good things, one of the best things I've found in SARP is there's all these really great little mini games. And even though they're sort of janky, playing them made me realize how much of an overhaul Rocket League could use in the single player department. In Rocket League, the training's pretty boring. It's not very interesting. But in SARP, there's like a star system. There's a sense of completion when you're trying to go through these mini games. I mean, like as you play, it feels like you're trying to improve your wanted level or something. Like it looks like straight out of GTA. And I have to say, it feels pretty rewarding when you do really well in a mini game. Which in Rocket League, when you do the training, just getting like 3 out of 4 in a training pack does not give you the sense of accomplishment that a system like this does. So some kind of medal or achievement system in single player that goes beyond just an XP system would be an amazing addition, because I didn't even realize what I was missing until I played these mini games. They're really fun. The other thing that's better in SARP compared to Rocket League is the replay system. While it's really basic and obviously there's some features missing, the free camera moves around so much better than in Rocket League. I was really surprised by this. Like it actually gradually stops and gradually starts. There's some give there, where in Rocket League, if you try to move the camera around in the replay, it's too responsive. It makes it really jerky and hard to get smooth footage. So I was really impressed with how easily I could get smooth footage on SARP. So now let's talk about the things that are the same, that really haven't changed between SARP and Rocket League. The main thing is your teammates are still terrible. There's still a lot of whiffs, and it still has that very, Rocket League feel when you're playing, where there's a lot of people missing. You're missing too, because it's SARP. It's hard to be precise, but it definitely has that spirit of just like hopeless whiffs constantly. So yeah, that's pretty much the same. Demos still work about the same, and a huge takeaway is that it's still overall fun. It's clunky. You can see how it was a stepping stone that led to Rocket League. It's such an unrefined version of the game. You can see how they took it to the next step with Rocket League and really perfected the idea that they had. But overall, you could tell why over 2 million people downloaded this game. It's still pretty fun, even though it's really janky. So overall, this was an amazing experience, and it was totally worth buying the 2 crappy PlayStation 3s and 3 HDMI splitters. Oh, one last thing. The last online game I recorded, I realized there's still something really satisfying about competing with someone, and I have to say, there's only one thing better than seeing player forfeited come up on the screen, and that's the magic of a rage quit. See you next time.